and welcome. You are listening to At Home with Ifeno. Here, we'll talk about helping women know and understand their worth, find fulfillment in who they are, and in what they do. Every other week, we'll talk about your identity as a woman, discovering your unique purpose, intentionally raising the next generation, and your influence in homemaking. I am your host, Ifoma Nneka Omoni. Hello, and welcome to At Home with Ifeno. Is it morning, afternoon, or evening? Whatever time of the day it is, I welcome you specially. You are at the right place at the right time. And I believe you're also doing the right thing. So are you on your way to work? Are you already in the office? Or you're at home doing those chores, going to the market, shopping, or you are driving? Whatever you might be doing, I want you to know that you are listening to At Home with Ifeno, and it promises to be another interesting time. So how have you been? Wow. The year has really gone so fast, and so many things have been happening to us. Many of us feel, I haven't achieved my goals for 2022. Many of us feel, have I really done anything? Or I wanted to do much more than I have done so far. Whatever has happened in your life, the first thing I want you to do is to be grateful. Be thankful that you are alive and well. Be thankful that you can breathe. Be thankful that you can see, I believe. Be thankful for everything that might look insignificant and little that has happened positively for you. And even the things that have not happened, sometimes we really don't know what God might be doing behind the scene, why some things might not have happened, or even things that He didn't allow to happen might have worked for our good. So whatever it might be you have been through, just have a grateful attitude. So for today, we have an interesting topic, and I believe it will help us as we continue in our journey of life, and even as we walk towards the end of the year. Our topic for today is focus on your focus. Focus on your focus. Yes, I got what I'm about to say right. Focus on your focus. So it means the topic is trying to tell us that there is a particular focus you should be focusing on. And as I thought through this topic, ready to come and share my thoughts with you, I found out that for you to focus, it means that you must be blind too. Focus and be blind. So how is it possible that you could be focusing and also be blind? So you could focus on your particular goal or what you want to achieve and be blind to any other thing that will act as a distraction. So that is why the topic is focus on your focus. So let's delve into today's thoughts, and I believe that it will be rewarding. I would like to start by sharing two verses of the scripture, of a scripture or a particular verse, but in different versions. So I will be reading Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25. It's going to help us as we discuss the topic, focus on your focus. So Proverbs 4:25, a particular version reads, "Set your gaze on the path before you, with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead." Set your gaze on the path before you, with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead. Another version says, keep your eyes straight ahead. Ignore all sideshow distractions. Wow. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Ignore all sideshow distractions. So these verses are helping us to buttress our topic about focus. It's telling us that we need to look at the end picture even as we start our journey of focusing on our focus. So what is the end game? What is the end picture? What are you really trying to achieve? When you have that in mind, it would likely and it would definitely help you to stay focused, because there are so many distractions. And interestingly, the distractions might not necessarily be bad in themselves. They could be good ideas. They could be things that, yes, it will be good to try. But maybe for that particular time of your life or the season you are in, that is a distraction. You need to be blind to such distractions. So keep your eyes straight ahead. Ignore all sideshow distractions. So there are going to be sideshow distractions. And maybe we've already experienced some of these sideshow distractions as we journeyed even during this year. But it's not over until it's over. So for the remaining part of the year, you could still sit down, look at yourself, look at how far you've come, remind yourself of where you were supposed to start from, and reassess yourself, and then get your focus for this particular time right and stay on it. I would like to give a little definition of what focus is. Focus is the center of interest, attraction, or activity. It is also the state of having clear visual definition. It is to pay particular attention to something, and is also the point of concentration. Dear listeners, what is your focus at this time of your life? Once you have your focus for this period or time of your life, then you need to keep at just that thing. What does it mean to really be focused? A person is focused on something when they are paying attention to it. So you are not just flipping through, you start today, you drop it, another good idea comes, you continue with another one, then you drop that one again. So you are not just starting and stopping, because you find out that at the end of the day, you really don't have anything to show for you're not being consistent and being focused. So focus is a very, very important thing that we need to pay attention to, so that our lives will be fruitful, so that our lives will be more productive. A quote says, starve your distractions and feed your focus. Always remember your focus determines your reality. This is a quote by George Lucas. Always remember, dear listeners, your focus determines your reality. So you are not daydreaming. Whatever you pay attention to, whatever you give your time to, that is what will determine the outcome of your life. Ignore the noise. Focus on your work. In our world today, there is so much that is acting as distractions. Is it on social media, the internet, the TV, the news, political issues? So many things are distractions. But today I've come to remind you that you need to focus on your focus. So I'd like to ask us some questions. Let's personalize these questions and see how it will help us focus on our focus. What is your focus in life at this time of your journey? Have you asked God what should be your focus? Because God knows you better than you know yourself. He is your creator. He is the one that brought you here on earth. He knows your purpose. He knows why he sent you here. So have you taken time to ask him what you should be focusing on at this particular time of your life? What are you doing about your schedule concerning your focus? Because we would only be daydreaming if we are not deliberate in making sure that our schedule daily is in line with what we have decided to focus on. So, are we making sure that our schedule is being used to make sure that that thing that we focus on, that thing that we want to achieve, is determined by how our schedule goes each day? What is the most important thing to you right now? You need to be honest in answering these questions, and no one can give you an honest answer except yourself. What is your biggest distraction from what is your focus at this time in your life? Is it a habit you need to stop? Procrastination? Okay, I will do it tomorrow. It happens to every one of us. Sometimes coming up here to have this recording, it takes a lot, I tell you. When you know that you need to make sure that your listeners are having something to listen to very soon, it puts me on my toes. And when some distractions come, I remind myself that I must not fail. I must meet up with the expectations concerning what I have decided to focus on this particular season of my life. So if you are going to remain focused, then you must deal with the distractions. You just have to make up your mind. Is it the TV? I have also reduced my viewing time on TV, because the TV is something that could be a stealer of our time. Before we know what, we will not even understand how we sat in front of the TV for 2 hours. And sometimes when we honestly look at what we should have done with those 2 hours, I'm not saying we should not have time to relax, to unwind. It's very important. I do that when I just want to think of something else. Maybe I want to laugh or so, I can watch a comedy, but not to just dwell there when I know that something is beckoning on my attention. So you need to know what the distractions are. If you are going to remain focused, then you must deal with the distractions. You have a great future and life ahead of you. But if you don't deal with whatever distractions are around you, you cannot remain focused on what is ahead of you. So, dear listener, I ask again, what is your focus? You need to focus on that focus. The truth is that you focus and put your time into what is really important to you. If something is really important to you, you will focus on that thing. You cannot give everything the same level of focus. So here comes the time to prioritize. What is more important? Prioritize what is your focus per time and get the best out of the time you put into it. You could be busy and not focused, and many of us fall into this trap. You could be going round and round, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, and by the time you come back and sit down to assess yourself, you ask yourself, what were you really doing? So busyness does not equate productivity. So if you know what your focus is, just one assignment, because multitasking has a way of also deceiving us in this issue of focusing. We think that we can do so many things at the same time, and we think that running about, involved in so many things, we are busy, means that we are productive, and yes, we are achieving. But we must be focused, and for us to be focused, to get the result at the end of the day and our time, we need to prioritize. The power of focus. When we understand what we really want, we find that we accomplish anything with little or no distraction. It's not as easy as it sounds, I know, but if we manage it properly, Once you see that you are derailing, you remind yourself and say, no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so between now in October to December, what is one thing I want to focus on? Not too many, just one thing. And then you break it down. Okay, today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, I'm going to spend 1 hour on this particular project. 1 hour. You could start with 1 or 2 hours. You don't need to make it so, let's be realistic when we are even making these goals and plans. So if you find out that in a week you have said between Monday and Friday, I should have used 5 hours on this project, focused. You don't allow phone calls, emails, or even your friend comes and says, oh, Ifeno, this is something that you will benefit from. I want you to take a look at it. Fine, you could be courteous to take a look at it. But after looking at that thing, if it is not in line with your focus for that particular time, you have already said that you want to finish this before December 2022 ends. So you remind yourself that distractions are always going to come, and be honest. Is this what you should be doing at this time? If it is not in line with what you have set out to do, you keep it aside, because that is a distraction. I will not forget this part. Who is the source of what you focus on? Is it God or the society? Many times we live to please people. We want people's approval. We want people to cheer us. But, dear listeners, I want you to remember, God is your source, and He is the one that should determine what your focus is per time, per season, per year, or whatever, however you want your life to be structured. He is the one to dictate the pace. He is the one to give you the focus. And when you do that, you will find fulfillment in whatever you are doing, because you know who sent you, you know who is giving you the instructions. He will give you the direction on how to make that focus a reality. Distractions could not necessarily be bad things. Like I said earlier, they could be wonderful ideas, but not the right one for you. So you need to focus on your focus, because without that, your life will be in disarray, and you will find out that you have not really achieved what you set out to do. The importance of focus cannot be overemphasized. 1, being focused on one thing for a certain period allows you to do better quality work. Whatever you give your full attention to will grow. Whatever you give your full attention to will do well. More work will get done quicker, and the quality will be superb. Your creativity will flow in an excellent way. So being focused on one thing for a particular period is very, very important. Being focused on one task at a time is also less stressful. Your mind is not running helter-skelter. And once you are not stressed, you are sure to be happy. Many of us are stressed today because we find it difficult to say no. Say no to more responsibilities when we already know our plate is full. Please let us learn to focus on our focus. The alternative of being focused, is there are so many reasons why many of us refuse to be blind. Like I said, we know that focus has to do with looking at a particular thing with all our attention, just like when you focus your camera, and you centralize your camera, the lens, so that you get a good picture when you're about to take a snapshot. So alternative to being focused could be detrimental. It involves doing a lot of everything. Like I said, you jump from one task to another without ever getting anything done. When we are not focused, we end up spending our time doing anything but our most important work. So we leave what we are supposed to do and we end up doing other things in the name of trying to help. I'm not saying we should not help, but whatever it is, remember, focus on your focus. Our choice of focus is often dictated by urgency, other people's priority, whatever feels easiest, or whatever makes us feel busiest. That busy. A lot of us are busy, but we are not productive. Being busy does not equate fulfillment. Being busy does not equate fruitfulness. Being busy does not even bring about the desired result most times. So let's sit down and be honest with ourselves, for the remaining part of this year. And as we move into a new year, let's be true to ourselves, let's be honest, and let's focus on just one thing at a time so that we can get it done. The difficulty of being focused, like I said, is because so many distractions are bombarding us. So many distractions, phone calls, TV, social media, and lots more. With so many people trying to get our attention, we need to pay attention to our family. We need to pay attention to our career. We need to pay attention to our business, which is very important. But in all, let's pay attention. Even if you have decided that for this season of your life, you want to be at home, make sure that you are focused. So you are not just sitting at home and idling. Be focused in whatever you have decided to focus on at a particular time of your life, so that at the end of that season, you can look back, you can sit back and say, this and this and this were what came out of my being focused in this particular area, and the reward will be great. It's really, really difficult not to be distracted, but we have to try to fight the distractions. Less stress, high quality of work, working faster. The benefits of being focused is enormous. And when we do that, we will be so glad that we were focused. I would like to say that it's easier to get carried away with all the technology and saying that you could multitask, you could do so many things at once, and it's not completely true. It is more effective to focus on one task, one goal at a time, and see it through to the completion before moving to another one. Even if you started out this year and said, I was going to achieve a particular goal for each quarter, and you found out that for the first quarter you've not finished that first one, rather than jumping to the next one that you slated for the second quarter, continue with that first one. Even if you end up doing just that one thing at the end of the year and you find out that you did it and you did it well, it will be better than doing haphazard work in different things and at the end you couldn't complete it. So it is more effective to focus on one task or goal at a time and complete it. Being focused is the key to success. Being focused, not being distracted. Yes, good ideas will come, things will pop up, but remember what you are to be doing and remember who your source is. Are you living to please people? Are you moved by what society is saying? Are you moved by what friends or even relations might be saying? Because the truth is that most of the distractions come from familiar faces, familiar relationships, familiar terrains. It could be a habit. You know that if you get into a particular environment, it doesn't make you productive in what you ought to do. So why will you keep going to that environment? So it's not just about doing the most work or goals. It's about doing your most important work or goal to the highest standard. Excellence should be our goal in whatever we are doing. Being focused on your focus will allow you to bring out the highest standard of whatever you are out to achieve. So, dear listeners, let's be honest with ourselves. let's remember to keep our eyes straight ahead. Ignore all the sideshow distractions. Set your gaze on the path before you with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead. Don't look to the left or right and be distracted. Don't be distracted by what your neighbor or your friend or somebody is doing and lose focus of what you are supposed to be doing now. You are unique. You don't need to copy. You can learn from others, but you don't need to copy exactly what another person is doing. Why? Because we are all different. Let God be the one giving you the thoughts and the ideas that you are bringing out, so that at the end of it, you will say, yes, I did my best, I finished well, and I'm happy that I stayed focused. So, dear listeners, before I go, I would like to remind you that we now have an email address. You can send your comments, your concerns, or even topics you would like us to treat that have to do with home, our identity as individuals, knowing that our source is from God, our identity flows from Him. It's seeing that whatever kind of work, as long as it is legitimate, there is dignity in it, and knowing that we have a great part to play in raising the next generation. Any topic that revolves around the focus of this platform, you could send such email to athomewithifeno@gmail.com, all in small letters, athomewithifeno@gmail.com, and we'll respond to your mail as soon as we get it. Thank you, and remember, focus on your focus. Thanks for joining us this week on At Home with Ifeno. Check us out on Instagram at Ifeno17. As always, subscribe to the show to catch every new episode and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh content. See you next in 2 weeks' time.